guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jen from Citrus and Willow. Today we are gonna focus on a Valentine's special that you can use in your treatment room. It's an amazing mixture of different product lines. We really focus on some knowledge here and break down some different product lines that I love. We have our model here. The first part, you can either offer these treatments actually as an individual treatment or connect them with the two. With our model here, we're gonna do both of them. The first one is a lash lift and tint with a beautiful lip mask, like a collagen plumping mask. So it's absolutely perfect for day of or day before, date night, Valentine's Day, or anytime in February. So I'm gonna run this special personally for the entire month of February. Let's get started with our lash lift and tint. So I like to definitely have the client just gently open their eyes, and I am gonna put down their lower lashes. You can get these really inexpensively on Universal Companies, or even Amazon, I believe, has iPads. They're the same ones that you can use for lash extensions. But getting those lower lashes out of the way is so important because you don't want to curl those up. So the next part, which is super important for this lash lift and tint, is you need to clean the lashes and the upper eyelid. It will help with the glue and help the lashes to stick better onto the pad. The glue really needs to stick on the eye, but I am gonna show you a little tip and trick here that I've found throughout my time as doing lash lift and tints. It's put a little bit of tape on the upper eyelid, and it will help the glue to adhere more, and it will also allow the rod not to pop up. Okay, so once the eyes have dried and you apply the tape to the top of the eyelid and make sure that your eye pads are down and even, I like to use the Elleebana Stronghold glue. It's easier for me to get onto the eyelid. So another little tip to this Elleebana lash lift is you want to put the glue on top of the tape and then put the glue on top of the rod, and that will create a strong adhesion. When you're applying the lash rods, you don't need to be right on top of the lashes. It will make the curl too intense. You also want to make sure, this is another pro tip, that you're measuring out your rod size. That is super important to make the lash lift just be the most beautiful it can be. The larger rods with short lashes will just make them look like they're pointing out. She has about a medium length lash, and these are gonna be absolutely gorgeous because they're so straight that when she pops them open, they're gonna be lifted. So I did choose to use the small rod on her. Okay, so making sure that you are throwing away that Q-tip that you just used, we're gonna have to use the glue again, getting a fresh Q-tip. We're just gonna place a small thin layer on the very front of the lash rod. Another pro tip here is the Elleebana glue, whether it's the Stronghold or not the Stronghold, it absolutely needs to take a few seconds to start to dry before you start using it. Otherwise, the lashes won't adhere properly. My favorite tool is this little tool from Elleebana.com. It is a lash lifting tool. It's got a little hook and a flat piece so you can get the lashes straight. And pro tip again, there's so many pro tips with the lash lift because it is such an intricate process. You literally have to have the lashes straight because they will go wonky as they start to grow out. And the lash lift does last 6 to 8 weeks. Also, at Citrus and Willow, we do offer Zoom classes now. So you can get a one-on-one class with me on any of our classes, which I have microblading, dermaplaning, advanced classes, as well as this lash lift and tinting class. So citrusandwillow.com. This part is where it gets a little tricky, guys. I like to have my mag lamp open and bright so I can see all the lashes. Just make sure that your client doesn't have a light sensitivity. You will probably have to reapply glue a couple of times. It is hard, it gets tricky. Some of the lashes don't adhere right away, or some of them pop off. So applying additional glue might be necessary, and just really making sure that you're not getting those lower lashes. So again, you guys, I'm giving you a few pro tips here, but if you want more pro tips on doing lash lifts and tints, or our V-Day specials, or any help with advanced classes, just go to citrusandwillow.com or DM us with questions. Using the hook part of the tool, you want to go through and go in between each lash, making sure they're completely straight. If you get a little too much glue onto the lash rod, that's okay. Just simply use the hook section to just scrape it off as you're going through and making sure each lash is completely straight. The Stronghold glue does leave a little bit more residue than the other glues, but I really do love the Stronghold. As you start scraping off some of the glue, some of the lashes probably will pop off. That's okay. Again, just take your time and reapply a little additional glue to get the last few lashes held down tight. Okay, next little pro tip, guys, is definitely making sure that you get the build off the hook. All my fellow SDs out there, you know about the stages of hair growth, so you might have a little bit of trouble with the baby ones. So if you do have trouble with the baby ones, you just kind of hold them down until the glue dries. Okay, so now that the lashes are glued perfectly onto the rods, we're gonna start step 1, Lift Lotion Activator. Elleebana, my favorite lash lift kit. Okay guys, you need about a pea-sized amount, and that should be enough for both lashes. You don't want to goop it on too much, but you want to make sure that you get the middle of the lash. That's so important. You don't want to get it too close to the pore, nor do you want to get too high up, because you can actually burn off the tips. And that is a pro tip there, because I have done that. To determine how long the lash lift solution stays on is really about the comfortability of the client, how healthy their lashes look. 7 is max, because if you have it on too long, it will burn the lash, and too little, it won't lift the lash. 5 is for shorter, weaker hairs, and 7 is for healthier, usually younger people can do the 7 minutes. I like the 7 minutes if possible. If the lash looks healthy, then I will leave it on for the full 7. Okay guys, set your timers, 5 to 7 minutes. While we start the 5 to 7 minute time frame, this is where I throw in a little boost to the lash lift and tint for Valentine's Day. I'm gonna do a beautiful lip scrub. I make my own. I like to mix a little Himalayan sea salt with lavender essential oil. Coconut oil is so good for the skin. It has a lot of linoleic acid in it, which is amazing for keeping the skin hydrated and happy. And then I will wash that off with a warm sponge and put on a collagen lip mask. Another scrub that I love to use is the Professional Micro Buff Scrub from Glymed. We will put the link from my website in the comments. Pro tip here is, if you're going to combine the 2 Valentine's Day treatments, don't get too aggressive about the exfoliation around the lips, because there's a pretty advanced exfoliation coming up in the Valentine's facial. Really, you only want to scrub about a minute, otherwise it can be too aggressive, because the lips don't get a lot of exfoliation, honestly. So don't be too aggressive about your scrubbing, especially with the Glymed micro scrub, or even the sea salt. You don't want to be too aggressive. I like the sea salt especially though, because it is so full of nutrients and it absorbs a little better, but you still want to wipe off the excess before you put on the lip mask. Now I got these lip masks right here, these cute little lips from Elleebana.com, and I just think they're so adorable. So I got these to put on the lips. They're just a little collagen lip mask and a hydration, a little bit plumping. So perfect for a night out or just to treat yourself. I am huge on self-care, which we will have an upcoming episode, I found out, with our beautiful model here who is going to be a physical therapist on ergonomics for SDs. We don't really talk about that a lot in school, so I really love to talk about it because I've been doing this for a while and it literally is important. Look how cute these are, you guys. I love them so much. So sometimes as you are taking off the solution, you need to be prepared that some of the lashes might pop off. So again, you might have to reapply a little bit more glue, and that's just the game of lash lifting. Don't use too much water. That's key. Otherwise, you're gonna completely dissolve the adhesion from the glue. Okay, so once you remove all the lash solution, you literally go into the step 2. They're all numbered 1, 2, so super easy to understand. Apply this to a clean Q-tip, and same example. You just want to get right in the middle. Not too low, not too high. But I can also see the bones again. Okay guys, so step 2, same thing, 5 to 7 minutes. So set your timers. The collagen mask is on, and at this point, you want to go ahead and start making your dye. I like to use a very dark black. Some clients can get really fun and use a blue black. So you do have that option, 2 different colors. With this client, I am using just straight black. She has brownish hair, dark brown, so the black will really pop. She has light colored eyes, which we will show you how beautiful her eyes are with the lashes just popping out. It's a gorgeous solution. Okay, so once that timer is up, you definitely want to get a damp Q-tip and just slowly take off with a little rolling motion the cream. Okay guys, so now that all the cream is off, our next step is to apply the dye. So I tint the lashes while they're curled up. It will dye your lash rods. Just make sure that you're really disinfecting them, and as long as they're disinfected, it's okay to use them if they're a little discolored. If they get too black, then I definitely would just toss them. Get a new set. It's also better for sanitation. I usually get new rods about every 6 months unless they get too dark. Just replenish, make sure they're fresh, make sure they're still sanitized. It's usually good to do that. Some people could probably do a year, depending on how many lashes you do. This tint stays on for about 10 minutes, but you want to be careful. So you're gonna constantly be asking the client how they feel, if their eye's irritated or if their eye starts watering. You're gonna wanna take the tint off then. But usually I like to keep this on for a good 10 minutes. As the client is getting their lashes tinted, I go ahead and start with the facial. You can turn your excess light off, pull off the bottom eye pads, and then I gently brush on a little bit of the coloring onto the lower lashes with a micro brush. So let me know in the comments how many other SDs use this lower lash trick, because who wants just the upper lashes dyed? So at this point, the client is now getting their lashes tinted. We're gonna turn on our steamer and go right into the Valentine's Day facial. They've had the lip mask on for about 10 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the lip mask. Again, these are not reusable, so just toss that. Okay, so now it's time to remove the lash tint. So we're gonna use some just dry Q-tips to just wipe off the tint, and then we're gonna take a wet little sponge and we're gonna go ahead, you can use cotton rounds, which is what I'm using now, and just gently give the eyes a little scrub to pop off. Just a gentle scrub, not too aggressive, making sure that the client does not open their eye. Taking the tape off can be a little tricky, but with the steam, which is a tip, it loosens up the adhesive so it doesn't hurt as badly. Taking another clean cotton round, we're just cleaning up around the eye. You can do the tint anytime, but I prefer to just get that part done in the very beginning before I do the facial.
The break. I tried so hard, but all these scars, they cut so deep, I bleed. I fell so fast from having